So moving on, we have the 2011 Chardonnay. Can you talk us through the winemaking process here for the Chardonnay?
We actually own 17 vineyard sites for this Alexander Valley. It's mainly Alexander Valley, but we do put a little bit of Russian River and Carneros in there. So it is a Sonoma County Chardonnay. And it is one of the vineyard sites in this wine is the home ranch where Donna Rhonda actually first came to Alexander Valley and bought this vineyard. And so it is kind of neat that 30 years ago they bought this ranch and it is still in this wine. And I love that story. And I'll go out in the vineyard and here's Don Carano like tasting the grapes. It's getting ready. It's getting ready. It's really neat. Various clones of Chardonnay that we have in this wine. So I really like the differences in the clones. You have your apple clones, your citrus clones, your peachy clones, your floral clones. So having all those different nuances in all the different sites and all the different clones, we bring in the fruit. We definitely do night picking as well on this wine, so it's nice and cold coming in. We do some whole cluster and some crush and destem, and cold settle the wine for about 2 days. Once it's settled, we rack off the juice lees and we go to barrel. It's 100% barrel fermented, and it's about 30% new French oak. So just a little bit of the new oak. I definitely get more of a toasty hazelnut kind of graham cracker characteristic that I get in the oak.
Mm-hmm.
And we do put this wine through about 85 to 90% malolactic. So we do get a little bit of the creamy butter that comes through on the nose, a little bit of the hazelnut and the oaky spice, but also all those aromas from the clones, the apples and the citrus and the floral, all kind of come together to where what I strive for is really trying to have everything balanced to where not one thing stands out. It's not too fruity, it's not too buttery, not too oaky. It's just kind of like a seamless kind of wine.
So for people who don't understand why getting cold fruit is important, can you explain why people would harvest with the lights on in the middle of the night or early morning?
I think that it's this, my philosophy is trying to capture the acidity and the brightness. When you pick cold, it's the fruit is just nice and cold and it captures that acid. When it's warm, it tends to be, if you pick in the middle of the day and it's warm fruit, you get oxidative enzymes, it ages, it's just kind of like, it's just too warming. You almost get a cooked character in the wine.
There's a lot of activity going on in the grape, outside of the grape.
Yeah, so when you do pick cold, it's really nice to capture the essence. Not a lot, it's not a lot of oxidative enzymes going on, and you just capture the essence of the acidity when you pick that early in the morning. So.
And can you give us an idea what the difference is in whole cluster and crushing the grapes?
It's just a different way to bring in the fruit. It depends on what I tend to do is there's certain vineyards that I try to capture the acid in some of the vines. A lot of this is Alexander Valley fruit, so when you whole cluster press, it just is really gentle and you just get the fruit. When you crush and destem, you tend to get a little bit more pH shifts, and I think it's just the skin contact, that little bit of skin contact, it can shift it. So depending on the vineyard and the site and the clone, I will pick it accordingly based on the fruit and the acid levels and things like that. And what I want to get out of the wine and the fruit, so kind of winemaking gut, like a chef type of thing where you kind of like, I want to do this, I want to do that. And so depending on the fruit and the vintage too.